It is perhaps the second biggest race in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and these 42 drivers are back at the Lowe Motor Speedway for the running of the World 600 in the 2001 season. I'm Jericho, alongside me, three-time World 600 winner Trey Bardo. Trey, you won all your races back in the 90s. In fact, you won 2 of the last 6 World 600s before you retired. This has always been a driver type of race with how long it is, but also the equipment means so much, trying to make sure the motor and all the components of the car last all 80 laps in this race. What is it like going through 80 laps around the Lowe Motor Speedway?
I'm not gonna lie, about halfway through, Jay, you start to daydream. Oh, I guess night dream. It's yeah, you start to get bored after a while. But I mean, if you can keep yourself out of trouble, it is a pretty narrow type racetrack especially with the way we drive. So just to keep yourself out of trouble there, you should have a chance to battle for the lead or for the win. That is.
Yeah, this is always one of the best races we see in the season, and last season was no different. We saw 38 laps caution-free to start the race until an accident down the back straightaway didn't trigger yellow, but then as the cars drove away, they triggered more crashes, which caused the yellow flag. It was one of the more controversial races last season in that happened, and then some of the wreck cars came around and wrecked some drivers that were pacing behind the pace car as they were trying to get back around to take their positions. And then later on in the race, we had another crash down the back straightaway. A car was on its side, Lawrence, but no yellow came from that. Lap traffic caused issues. So Trey, controversial race here last season. We've seen some controversial moments this season with Winston Cup Series officials. Do you think it could possibly happen again in this World 600?
Am I gonna get fined for saying how I feel about it?
I hope. Well, I think I'd also get fined.
I'm just gonna go with it anyways. Yeah, I could definitely see them not throwing yellows again.
Okay.
And I guess we'll see after this race how much I owe NASCAR.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't happen. Last season, I know that I said I didn't agree with many things that happened during the race, and they didn't give me anything. So hopefully you'll be fine.
Oh, I don't think me and NASCAR have a very good relationship throughout my career, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to see if they like me or not.
Maybe it's just water under the bridge. We'll see, though. Think back to last season. Brett Sierra won this race by 3 1,000ths of a second over you, Trey. It's the closest finish in Winston Cup Series history. So, great. You're on top of the world. You've won one of the biggest races in the Winston Cup Series. But the last time he was here, Trey, he had to leave in an ambulance going to the hospital and didn't even finish the season after a season-ending crash. So, what do you think Brett think about right now more? The crash that he had last season in the fall or the win of this race last season?
Both. I mean, think about it, right? You said he ended the season with a wreck here, but then he went on to win this season's Daytona 500. So now, I mean, it's just another redemption story. He comes back to win this race here. I mean, I could see it happening. I'm rooting for it to happen. What's causing it not to happen is the real question.
Yeah, it could be another one of those redemption moments, winning one of the crown jewel races. We'll see if Brett can get it done. He and the Hendrick boys have brought some speed here to the Lowe Motor Speedway. Zidell will start third. Keegan Thompson really needs something to go his way. He's dropped down massively in points in that number 5. He starts at 9th tonight after his disappointing run at Texas, having a really fast car, began involved in an incident on pit road. He's looking for something good to happen here at Lowe's. And speaking of something good having to happen at Lowe's, Chris Jericho started on pole in this race last season, but this season he'll start 40th on pace. Trey, not so good for a points here. He does come in with a comfortable margin of 122 points, but that could evaporate if something happens early on in this race right here.
Yeah, it's definitely not how he wanted to do it, especially at a track like this, starting all the way in the back. But as you said, it's, the longest race of the season. So if he can pace himself and keep his car clean, I would not be surprised to see himself up front.
And then back behind him, we had 3 cars fail post-qualifying inspections, but the big stories come from the drivers that missed the show because of it. Logan Williams did fail in the 11. He'll start back in 42nd. But 2 cars that were set to make it in on speed failed post-qualifying inspection, allowing 2 others to jump in. Those 2 that failed, Evan Hunter was set to start in 21st, and Brandon Beal had made the show by 1 1,000th of a second over Jose Mills. With those 2 failing and falling out, Jose Mills jumped in and Nathan Baird jumped in. So Trey, what do you think had to be going through the minds of Mills and Baird, especially Baird, because we've seen a few times where one driver failed inspection and the next one bumped in, but we've never seen 2 drivers bump in. So what do you think Baird was thinking, being like, oh, I'm out, I was the second driver out, but now he's in?
Well, for the 2 that got, disqualified, I've always said if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and sadly they got caught. But for the 2 that made it in because of that, they might owe him a drink or 2, because if they didn't get caught, they'd probably be heading home right now.
Yeah, so Jose Mills, Nathan Baird, they're going to try to do the best with their opportunity they have here on the World 600. It's a beautiful night for racing at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Clear skies, 70 degrees, very good for nighttime temperature. Only 1 mile an hour of wind in the north direction. There is a slight chance of rain, 15%, but we don't think we'll get it here in Concord, North Carolina. The track, a mile and a half in length, 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 5 degrees on the straightaways, just like we saw last week in Texas. So Texas basically a carbon copy of this racetrack at Lowe's Speedway. The only difference, this track very, very old, built in 1960, so it's 36 years older than the track surface we were at the Texas Motor Speedway. Obviously, the first race held here in 1981. And the past 5 winners of the World 600, Jeff Bryant in 1996, Trey did it in 1997, Kevin Bandon in 1998, Nat Wagner in 1999, and Brett Sear won it last season by 3/1000ths of a second. It's an 80-lap race. The fuel window 28 to 33 laps. So by that math, these drivers have to pit at a minimum of 2 times in this race. So the pit crews are only used to making just 1 pit stop during races if the race goes green for a good bit. But here tonight, they're going to have to make at least 2, maybe even more, Trey. How's that going to play with it?
Bill, let's be honest. We thought we knew the pit strategy each race we've gone to so far, and we're always wrong. I mean, these crew chiefs and these pit crews and these drivers all have their own strategy. Every time we see something different, we act surprised, but in the back of our minds, we both know that we figured something was going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised to see these guys pit more than twice. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them only pit twice. It all comes with what happens during the race. So we'll have to play it by ear and see what all goes down.
Yeah, we'll have to see when yellows fall, see, what the strategy would be like in terms of that regard. If they go long enough into a run, obviously this is an abrasive racetrack, tires will wear out, so if it's a long enough run, they'll want to come down pit road and get the 4 Goodyear Eagles to then try and get track position back with those fresh tires. About to get ready to get underway here in the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, the longest race of the season. Let's go on trackside to fire these cars up.
Drivers, start your engines!
"42 cars are rolling at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the World 600. It's an exciting night of racing in the Winston Cup Series. And let's first talk about the man starting in 5th, Trey. Matthew Burnett won last race at Texas, a track very similar here to the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Moved him up inside the top 10 in points. And oh, by the way, he got a contract extension on top of the extension he already had, Trey. So Matthew Burnett on top of the world right now in that number 17.
Yeah, I mean, what does Roush have to go for now? Just the championship. Every single one of their cars won. So, I mean, from this point on, the driver of the 17 and, his 3 other teammates, they just go out there to win wasted by this point.
And then right behind him in 7th place, Leighton Strickland, a beautiful patriotic car for Memorial Day weekend in that number 15. But one of his better qualifying results of the season here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Obviously, it's a long race, Trey, but starting up front, you always feel good about that. It looks like that car has pace in both the short run and the long run.
I mean, normally we're seeing him starting in the back and finding his way up front. Curious to see what he does when he starts up front, if he can keep it up front or if he's going to fall to the back.
Oh, by the way, let's just make one quick note. Laura Chung starting in 10th place. She has 2 straight top 5s so far this season, looking to make it 3 straight and trying to get inside the top 35 in the point standings. At the front, another Roush car on pole, Jordan Stout. To his outside, Mathis Wells for Joe Gibbs Racing. Behind them, Zidell and Fitzwater. Burnett is the top 5. Stout is on the gas. 80 laps of action at the Lowe's Motor Speedway is Green Flag Racing. Already a change for the lead. Justin Zidell lead the first lap of the World 600 again by Jordan Stout. Matthew Burnett quickly up to second, showing how steadily that inside moves through the field on starts and restarts. Now about for lead again as Matthew Burnett gets low on Justin Zidell off turn number 2. Most of the pack 2 by 2 all the way back.
It almost seems like, ever since Dover for that 24, it almost flipped a switch. I mean, he was pretty dominant at Dover, and ever since it seems like he's up front every race. So, maybe stuff's turning around, especially someone needs to turn around is this 5 car with Keegan Thompson. Last race, I mean, he was leading, Joe. He was contending for the win. And then he got knocked out in one place you don't think so. Pit road.
Yeah, Texas was the best race of the season for Keegan Thompson, and unfortunately ended in possibly the safest place possible on the racetrack, as you mentioned, pit road. He's now going for the lead at the Lowe's Raceway, getting a help from his teammate Brett Sierra as they race through turns 3 and 4. Keegan will lead off 4, but will he lead lap number 3? I think he will over Brett, but Brett quickly challenges back to the inside, trying to get the lead, but Keegan power off turn number 4, able to keep it up in front for now. Sierra is second. Randall up to third for Bill Davis Racing. Mathis Wells moving up nicely to fourth place. Justin Zadell back to the inside, already moving up nicely. Caden Lynn for Team Savco finished third in this race last season, out of nowhere really, right behind you and Brett in their side-by-side finish. But here's Caden moving up nicely in that 01. He wants to contend again this season.
Say, you think he might have learned a thing or two from last season?
He could have, right? I mean, he was around the best of the best last season in this race, like you, Jericho, Sierra. So I think he's pretty sporty getting around the Lowesboro Speedway.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him leading a lap. Oh, this might get tight. These guys want to be careful. This is a very narrow track. If they're 3 wide, you run out of space pretty quickly there, but it seems like they were able to handle it out. And here comes a 24 again, but the 22, he's going to take the lead.
Yeah, Jay Randall for Bill Davis Racing. They haven't had the best season. All 3 of them pretty low in points, but as of late, Randall, especially Lord Chung, have really bumped up the pace and bumped up their performance to try and get their way outside of the bottom 10 in points. Now Randall leads in turns 1 2, goes way wide though, allows Zidell back to the inside of the 24, back for the lead. Sebastian Kukulan, the best RCR car qualifying, but he was back in 15th. Now he's moving up to second place, trying to show that RCR has some form of pace this season. Keegan Thompson right behind him on his back bumper. As they race off 4, it's Hendrick, RCR, and Hendrick, the top 3. Jacob Boyd for the Wood Brothers, moving for 4th place on Jay Randall. Haven't talked about Boyd much this season, but here he is inside the top 5, going for a top 3 now.
Yeah, I mean, Boyd's just kind of been doing his own thing this season, contending for, up front when he can, but for the most part, I would say he's more of a midfielder type of guy, but here it seems like he's got something underneath that 21 there, and so far, it's working out for him.
Wow, Matthew Burnett stuck that thing to the bottom of turn number 3, made it stick, and he's going to get to second place by Jacob Boyd and trying to run down Sebastian Kukulan. Caden Lynn still moving up in that 01, now inside the top 5. Zidell looks to shoot the middle between the 01 and the 21, but I think he thought better of it, knowing that that would have been way too early for that move to have been made. It could have resulted in a crash. Meanwhile, 3 big names that started at the back outside the top 35. Atkins, Rainey, Jericho. Well, here they are. They're inside the top 20. We're not even 8 laps into the race.
I would even add Tim Gary into that. I mean, with the MB2 car, he's got to win this season, Joe. What's another one at this track?
Exactly, and Tim did not start well, just like these 3 in front. Oh, they're wrecking in the back. We have cars in the wall, and it was 19 Davis, Riley Spurlitube, and the 33 Benny Lynn. Bibby Ruiz is well involved. So the yellow is out early on here at the Lowe's Raceway. It looks like Matthew Burnett's going to lead them back over Brett Sierra, Sebastian Kukulan, Jay Rando, and Caden Lynn.
Well, it's an earlier caution than it was last season.
Yes, and you know what? That's going to change the strategy from last season. Obviously, they went all the way out on their run last season, came down pit road under the green flag. So what do they do here as we're, about 10 laps in? They've done about, 10 hard green flag laps, Trey. That's, as mentioned, this racetrack very, very old, could eat up tires in a hurry. So we'll see what these crew chiefs are thinking. Could this get them in a box to where maybe they can make it on some other type of strategy? I guess we'll find out what these crew chiefs are thinking, right?
This is where practice comes in. You do those long run sessions there, and you kind of see what your tires look like after that. With 10 laps in, I don't know. It looks like actually almost everyone's if not. Oh, it looks like everyone is coming in.
Yeah, it looks like the field wants to hit pit road for some fresh tires, some fuel. So yeah, I mean they're gonna come around to complete the 10th lap. 70 laps to go. So even after this, they still have to make 2 pit stops. The only thing you can maybe think is if they save enough and they go 35 and 35, split the runs in half, they could maybe just make 1 stop, but that would be a stretch. Yeah,
it seems like right sides are up right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see the left sides go up after this. But maybe what they're thinking is they get brand new 4 tires on right now, filled up with fuel, and since they're going to be starting single file, they might get spread out.
Oh,
Brett Sierra
got tapped by Wilson. He saved the car that slowed Burnett down, and Jay Randall leaves first because of it.
Oh, more contact in the back. I think that was Laura Chung, maybe?
And Kukulan almost hit Zidell right there. There were 4 wide leaving pit road in that whole ordeal. That was chaos.
The past couple of weeks has been a little sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, it must be these 1.5 mile, D-shaped or quad oval racetracks. Something about them. I don't know.
I don't know. It's making me nervous. I'm kind of glad I'm up here now.
Yeah. Thank God this didn't happen last season when you were behind the wheel. Or, it hasn't happened that much. But back-to-back weeks, it's a little chaotic as Jay Reno will be the race leader under the first yellow after the first pit stop. So let's see what happened to Baby Ruiz, Walker Davis, Riley Spurgeon, and some others towards the back of the field. So this is 3 wide coming off turn number 4. This takes a while to evolve. Nathan Baird is up into the door of Walker Davis, who's into the door of Collins, who can't go any higher. Baird will spin Walker Davis, so this part of the accident technically on Nathan Baird, but Walker Davis could have done a lot better job slowing his car down going through the grass.
I mean, I can understand not wanting to hit the brakes because you hit the brakes on that grass, Joe, it's like ice. You will lose traction quick, but right here is where you can definitely hit the brakes. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even think he thought about touching them.
Yep, come right up, and unfortunately, Baby Ruiz was not half a lane higher, else it maybe would have worked out. Ruiz around in the 92, and then trying to avoid the crash. Benny Lynn comes off the apron and up into the 28 of Riley Spurgeon, crashing them both. So kind of a separate incident with these two.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a reaction to what all was going on there. I mean, they pretty much saw it from start to finish there, and it's just bad luck. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple who caused all this.
Yeah, 19 and the 60 were really the root cause of this one. Unfortunately, it took out 3 really good patriotic cars. That's the unfortunate part of that one.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? But this Davis has been a very controversial driver the past few weeks.
Yes, he has. Let's go take a look at this this wreck one more time and see the contact between the 19 and the 60 to set this all off. Here it is once again, Nathan Baird, and you can see how long that contact was happening. And unfortunately, though, for Davis, he makes it a lot worse than it really should have been as he comes up the racetrack right here. And unfortunately, Ruiz, the first one to hit, really nowhere to go in that 92. And then right there, there's some contact.
My goodness.
Some pretty hard hits there with especially Benny Lynn backing into the wall.
Yeah, luckily it seems like everyone was able to drive away from it, possibly. Is the 28 beached?
Yeah, he's beached with the banking. So that's what 24 degrees of banking will do to you.
Yeah, if you get it caught in the wrong spot, your day might be finished behind a wrecker there, so that's a tough break.
Yeah, so Matthew Burnett led into pit road, but some contact leaving pit road with Brett Sear and some others allowed Jay Rando to be the first off pit road. So Bill Davis Racing and Jay Rando lead the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Coming back to the green flag here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, cleaning up the first caution accident of the race, as Riley Spurgeon and Ryan Wilson both found a lap down. Spurgeon after being stuck on the banking. Ryan Wilson obviously being involved in the pit road incident. They took some extended time on pit road. He's now found a lap down. Leaves us 40 cars on the lead lap as we'll restart on lap number 14. So it's Jay Reno out in front, that number 22. Brett Seaver will restart in second. In third place, it's Caden Lynn, Matthew Burnett in fourth, and Keyshawn Richardson in fifth. In fact, Trey, the 4 Roush cars are all together right here, just inside the top 5 and just outside the top 5.
Is that a good thing to see or a bad thing to see for the other drivers?
Very, very bad, and maybe even bad for the team owner, Ross McTrain, who's thinking, please don't junk up the cars.
Yeah, if something happens in front of them, they might all be, I would be worried.
Well, they're 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Fitzwater's 8th. Boyd is 9th. Gary's 10th, and Jericho's 11th. Great rebound for the points leader here on the first run of the race. Green flag back in the air. Ciro with a great jump on Jay Rando. Burnett with a great jump on Lynn, and already a challenge for the lead to turn 1.
I'm curious to see this right rear for Sierra, if we can get a good camera angle, because you remember, Joe, he almost got spun out on pit road.
Yes, he did. And it looks like the rear might have a little bit of damage. I don't think it's going to be anything too bad that will hinder, but definitely a good observation, Trey. If there is something there aerodynamically not sound, it could cause some issues later on in this race. We're looking 3 wide off turn 4 for the lead. Caden Lynn to the inside the 01.
He's got help from 2 of the Roush guys, so that's some pretty big pushers behind you.
Yes, it is. Lynn drives it in deep. Burnett carries Sear up the track. Keyshawn looks even lower than Lynn, but thinks better of it, backs out. You have Keyshawn right behind Caden Lynn. Zach DeLello right behind him, who still doesn't have a contract for next season, that number 97 as of now. That's kind of interesting, Trey, because he's been the most consistent. He's third in points for Roush. He's the highest Roush car in points.
I wouldn't, make any speculations just yet. I mean, there's still quite a bit to go this season, and especially since, like you said, he's been one of the most consistent on the team, I would be surprised to see if nothing came his way.
Well, Brett Sierra through the middle of Tim Gary, Matthew Burnett. Fitzwater looking 3 wide down the back straightaway on the 2 Roush cars, but DeLello, great run through the middle, gets clear of the 2 and the 99. Chris Jericho from 40th place, Trey, is up to 3rd place in 16 laps.
Yeah, the only person not happy to see that is the dude 2 cars behind him.
Yep, Brett Sierra, who's trying to somehow close in 122 points on him, and thought maybe if Jericho were to stay back there, that would be the way to do it. But now they're both up inside the top 5, and they're both racing head-to-head now. Definitely not what Brett wanted to see at all, and Jericho's going to try and block him.
That could have been interesting if they made contact.
Oh, it's not done yet.
Contact there.
Yeah, Jericho and DeLello got close, and Jericho might want to just back out of it, right? You got through the whole pack. Don't bottle it now when you're up inside the top 5.
I mean, we already saw one incident coming off of 4 where they were, 3 wide. So what's another one? They are getting close.
Yes, they are. Tim Gary, Chris Jericho, Zach DeLello. Jericho cannot love being in the middle. He finally gets cleared to DeLello, but Luke Rennie might fancy a shot at 3 wide here in turns 3 and 4 because that 88's also come from the back of the field with a slow qualifying result. And here he is going up for the top 5, and Jericho sticks his nose on the outside. They're still 3 wide through the quad oval.
I'm impressed they're holding it this long.
I cannot believe that they've held it this long. I mean, think about Texas, right? This would have been a crash within the first lap after a restart.
Oh, yeah, coming off of 2, they would have all been jumped by this point.
Well, meanwhile, this big battle behind with Oskin now coming to the inside, that Petty car, Mitch Corbett, and the Haas car Motorsports car. The front 3 have kind of left. Fitzwater, Richardson, and Sierra have gotten away. Then you have this crazy battle for 4th place, and look at this. They're still not done with the 3 wide with Jericho.
Yeah, this is actually, since Jericho's stuck on the outside, it's allowing everyone else to catch up behind him, and they're all going to go to the inside. That might have been contact between Boyd and the 97. But finally, he might be able to squeeze down to the bottom there. I don't think so.
It was looking like Richardson was going to pass Fitzwater for the lead, but didn't have the legs at the end to make it work. That allows Sierra to close in. Atkins is now 4th place with the battle with Mitch Corbett. Strickland was moving up nicely, but Burnett got to his inside, and once again, they are 3 wide. Luke Rainey, his teammate last season, Mitchell Collins, goes to the inside. Jacob Bowie was in the middle. Right behind, that's Keegan Thompson, number 5. Up in front, they look 3 wide again with DeLello looking low on Oskin and Strickland. It's only going to be a pass on Oskin, and then Strickland right after that. So there is crazy racing here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, right behind the front 3, which is still Fitzwater, Richardson, and Sierra.
I think this is the first. Never mind. I was about to say this is the first time all race where there wasn't 3 wide, but yeah, it happened again.
Yep, Noah Clifton got to the inside. Oh, back there!
Big move.
Yeah, Roberto Brown Jr. went into the grass trying to make a big move on the inside.
That was a little sketchy there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he obviously saw a hole, wanted to take it very, very quickly, and unfortunately he took it maybe just a little bit too quickly. As here we go again for the lead, but this time Keyshawn has the legs at the end of the straightaway to make it to the inside of Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and car number 99 moves out in front at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Brett Sierra in 3rd, hoping that these two keep battling because he's being caught by Mitch Corbett, who's having a great run tonight for Haas Car Motorsports, and then 2 more Roush cars come at it, and Strickland is now on Justin Atkins for 7th place.
We'll have to. He's going to give it up. Is he going to be able to get down? No, he's not. Keegan's the inside, and the 32 is going to come along right with them. But these two are still battling up here.
Yeah, Fitzwater got right back to the inside of Keyshawn Richardson, takes the lead right back away from Keyshawn here in the number 99. So Fitzwater back out in front. Richardson now in 2nd, has his hands full with Brett Sierra. Corbett's there to make it 4 cars, and then soon enough it's going to be 6, as here goes Brett for 2nd place on Keyshawn Richardson. Into turns 1 and 2, they're side by side, and Brett's going to make easy work on the inside of Keyshawn, and Mitch Corbett looks for 3rd, and nearly contact between those two.
That would have been something right there if he took out the 99 going down the pack stretch. Are we catching up to a lap car already?
It looks like,
I
yep,
thought
Baby
I saw
Ruiz.
someone.
Baby Ruiz is ahead in the 92, pretty damaged, as he was involved in that yellow. Oh, around they go! Oh. Atkins is spun around in the quad oval, and it looks like he got hit by Samet Oskin.
That was good timing on the kick. Oh, no.
The DI cars are in the inside wall.
Oh, my goodness, Caden Lynn.
Oh, and Logan.
What? They just keep adding into it.
Yeah, there were a lot of cars involved in this one.
It started with, what was it, Atkins getting turned,
Atkins,
it looked like?
Yep.
That was good timing on that camera.
Yeah, that was a really good wide shot to
good job to the TV guys.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the producer for that one because we were able to catch basically everything that happened live.
Oh my! But yeah, that was that looked at least 10 cars, if not more. I mean,
they kept
that was
crashing down to turn 1. It had to have been at least 15.
yeah, look, the field hasn't even caught up to the pace line yet. They're still trying to catch up.
And I mean, they're probably going to pit here, right? Because they pit after 10 laps, so they're probably going to be pit here because they've gone about 15 or so.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's these guys right here are hoping that the rest of the field does not catch up very much, because if that's the case, it's about 7 of them that can get a good jump on the rest of the guys pitting, but it looks like everyone else has caught up.
Yeah, it looks like most of the field has caught up, and looks like there's still a decent amount of cars left. I don't think the 8 and the 01 have too bad a damage.
A little love tap, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to say, you know what, I want more damage to my car, apparently.
Yeah, oh, careful, guys, here with the lap cars getting on the pit road.
Yeah, there's damaged cars, there's lead lap cars, too many cars.
Is it 2 times in a row where we have contact somewhere with someone?
So far, it's looking...
Oh,
well, Mathis, yep, he had to brake. Jordan Stout had to brake, just as I was wondering what's happening in front of him.
I'm getting more nervous watching pit road than I am the race, Joe.
Honestly, Trey, I'm with you on that one. Fitzwater's lucky he was in front of all that because he leaves easily. Matthew Burnett's coming out. Chris Jericho's gained some spots. 3 wide, 2 my cars are in it, of course.
It looks like we're all clean. It looked like Atkins is actually going to get off pit road, but his cars, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's well torn up. And I mean, look at all these cars. They're going to be stuck right on the tail end of the lead lap. So the racer's got a whole bunch of traffic to deal with, Trey.
That's just going to make us more of a Laura Chung.
Yeah, Laura Chung was involved in that, looks like, in the 23. So second caution flag is out here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Let's go see what happened. It was a big crash that happened off turn number 4 with Justin Atkins getting spun around in the number 29.
Well, it's RCR dilemma, Joe. Right here, they get 3 wide. Conrad pushes us up the track. Atkins has nowhere to go. He's a car up top. Pushes him wide. Into the wall. Back down into the 32. And then back up. And then, I mean, from this point on, everyone behind them just pick a lane and hope it sticks.
I cannot believe, Trey, the first car to hit the 29 was the 44. Look at all of the cars getting through this, and then the DI cars hit, right? So there's more controversy there. Baird gets nailed
my goodness.
by Riley Spurley Tube, but it's not over. I mean, these guys are still sitting sideways in the track. The 60 is sitting sideways in the track. Spurley Tube's coming back up right into the 71.
Joe, to add insult to injury to RCR, watch Kukulon.
Yep, the third one, who was not a part of the beginning, is involved. There's Benny Lynn behind trying to slam on the brakes. There's where Laura Chung and Jacob Boyd got involved. So that's already right there. 5 cars collected. Then you got a 6th right there. You got a 7th right there. You got an 8th back here. And then you got 2, 3 more with the 8th, the 1, and the 01. So we had about 11 cars straight involved in this one. 12.
The 11, Williams. Well, yeah, it's easier to say who wasn't involved. I mean, like you said, there was about, 10, 15 cars that got below the wreck there at the beginning.
Yeah.
But this was the big one. I mean, it was huge.
Yes, it was. We'll take a look at it again, and we'll show what happened to the DI boys because there was a pace car driver, Kevin Bannon, was getting a little nervous seeing Eli and Anthony Hernandez making some contact. Trey, when I look at this crash and I see Evans push up, the only thing I can think of is a driver who's had a dismal season and is trying to make something out of nothing.
You got to feel bad for the 29, Atkins. He was finally having a good race underneath him there and then got involved in this. And watch those 2 at the bottom. Watch the pace car. Oh!
And up into Caden Lynn, who couldn't avoid Logan Williams there. From what we saw, it was Eli who came through the grass, came back up into Anthony Hernandez as they were 4 wide, clipped the 1 down into the inside wall. So while your RCR guys were getting involved, the DI guys were getting involved after they took the yellow flag.
So what? The only clean team so far is Roush and HMS from the big groups.
And Gibbs, right?
Oh, what are they doing? They're still trying to avoid each other.
Yeah, I think there's some tempers, angry drivers. I mean, wanted to get back to the pits of their car as soon as possible. I mean, my goodness.
Remember how you said last season was a controversial race, Joe?
Yeah, this one's going to be not NASCAR controversy, but a teammate controversy, right?
Oh, I can't wait to see everyone's reaction after the race is over.
All I know is that Leighton is glad that he was not involved, and Kukulon, even though he got involved in the crash, is like, well, at least I didn't cause the crash with my teammates.
Yeah, it was my teammates that did it. Oh, my word.
So as you can see, Fitzwater entered pit road first. He left first in number 2, but there are a lot of damaged cars going to be in front of the leaders for the second restart of the night in the World 600 at the Lowe Speedway. So, Trey, think about this. We've had so much action so far in this race. We're not even halfway in. We're going to restart lap number 30 of 80. But Logan Williams is not leading this race. There are a lot of damaged cars that are on the tail end of the lead lap in front of Fitzwater. They are Williams, Hernandez, Osgin, Lin, Wilson, Ruiz, Kukulon, Chung.
I don't think I've ever seen this many lap cars in front of the leaders in my career, and I'm kind of glad I never had to deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, you know Fitzwater, he doesn't like many things, and maybe the thing he hates most is lap traffic. This has got to be like going to hell and having to repeat one thing all the time. This might be Fitzwater's hell right here, this restart. He's got Brett Sear behind him in second, Mitch Corbett in third, Keyshawn Richardson in fourth, and Zach DeLello in fifth. Roger Ray quietly stuck his way up to sixth. Matthew Burnett is seventh. Chris Jericho still up in eighth. Conrad Evans is now ninth, and Jordan Edwards completes the top 10. So a good shuffle of the running order after this second caution flag. Riley Spiritu is out. We have 37 cars technically on the lead lap. Consider about 30 because the 43 of Roberto Crown Jr. is in line. So we'll see how this restart goes with Fitzwater and all the damaged cars. Green flag back in the air at the Lowe Speedway, and already see how they're affecting the race leaders. I mean, where do you go though, right? Which lane's gonna be the fastest around here?
Oh, look at this. This stack up's gonna be big. Oh, what do? You gotta dive it on the inside going on the backstretch.
Yes, you do. So, Brett, that or you just, hope that no one dives in on you and you just kind of stay patient here, riding the inside, hope you just keep clearing the lap traffic one by one.
What is this? This looks like Talladega, Joe. This isn't Talladega.
It looks like they put restrictor plates on the cars and they're trying to get up to full speed.
This is... I don't know how to... Well, at least the 45's pulling away.
Yeah, Ryan Wilson is hoping a yellow comes out right now because he'd be back, I think one lap down at that point. But Brett
he might get clear?
Yeah, he's clear of most of the traffic. Mitch Corbett is right behind him. Keyshawn Richardson, Roger Ray, Chris Jericho are there. So you can see how the inside was definitely the place to be, and they're all going to be out in front. So everyone that chose the inside lane, they're going to cycle out in front of all the guys that went to the outside on the restart. And Nolan Lawrence got shuffled up by Keegan right there. Big move out of the 5.
Now, the real question is, what's it going to do to the back of the pack? How much shuffling is going to happen there? Is it going to lead to another caution? That's the big question. Oh, that was close.
Lawrence was getting impatient with Ruiz, the damaged car in front, trying to get down for Leighton Strickland, but couldn't. Oh, they're wrecking.
Goodness.
Evans and Roberto Crown Jr. are on their lid on the backstretch. It was a terrible crash. And, oh, my gosh, it looks like Evans is going to drive that thing away.
How is that thing still driving?
Yeah, I'm surprised the wheels are still on it.
Well, I was just talking about it, Joe.
Yep.
Those lap cars, are they going to cause an accident? Holy cow, did they cause one?
And Chris Jericho, the points leader, leads under the third yellow.
Is Evan still, is he still driving that car?
Oh,
look at him go. Okay. That's actually got some speed to it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that thing can keep going. I'm surprised Evans wants to keep that thing driving, but
how was that? Look at the damage on that, Joe. That was upside down. Joe, remember that.
That thing, it looked like pancaked into the ground hard. Like it was
the wheels were facing the sky.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Obviously, they just pitted, so unless there's some strange strategy call, which, damaged car, props to Lord Chung's crew, damaged lap down, getting out of the race leader's way right here.
Yeah, I mean, worst comes to worst, they fix the car up more. It's not going to be competitive, but, make it better than what it was. This is jockeying for position, maybe, trying to get around the 7?
Sounded like NASCAR was yelling at Strickland to get in front of Zidell. And I think they've sorted out. You can see some more of the damaged cars that were at the back coming in. So these are all kind of the lap cars that, had fallen a lap down, and they're getting out of the way of the drivers that stay on the lead laps. That's a very courteous call by those drivers.
Good for them.
Teams.
Good for them.
So it's the points leader, Chris Jericho, with the lead under the third yellow. Let's see what happened as Conrad Evans and Roberto Crown Jr. take a nasty tumble off turn number 2 here in the World 600. Well, Trey, another big team that can add their name to the list of controversial teammate moments. Matthew Burnett tries to force it 3 wide with DeLello, his teammate, to the outside, and there was no room whatsoever in between the 97 and the 01. And right here, this is the first part of the crash. All 3 of these guys really...
50, holy cow.
Yeah, Fitzwater got away. DeLello hit the wall hard, but right here, Evans trying to miss it, gets down to Roberto Crown Jr., and they have nowhere to go. The 31 hard into the wall, and then right here, Trey, I have never seen this happen.
I don't even know how you explain that.
And out of all that, I don't know how the 43 wasn't the one to drive away.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a hit while he was upside down, but I think Conrad got the most damage out of this entire wreck, and he's the one driving away.
Yeah.
Those RCR cars are built.
They are built strong. Unfortunately for Evans, it's going to be another DNF on his 2001 season, which is most likely going to drop him even further in points than he was entering the night. Let's take a look at this wreck again. We have a few more angles to show because this was a pretty big one towards the back of the field. So here this is again. Matthew Burnett to the middle of DeLello, and Lynn causes that. But then Evans with Roberto Crown Jr. hard into the wall, and right here, look at Tim Gary and Luke Ray sneak around the outside. Gary barely contact. Looks like Walker Davis slowed in, got away, but we have another view of the 43 and the 31 flipping. Let's go take a look at that one as well. Here's another view. There's that contact, and right here, Trey. Oh my God.
That's almost like a short track type thing where you see a car get pancaked into the outside wall and it like rides up on it.
Yeah.
But not here at a fast speed track like this, and I still can't believe this image right here.
Yeah, I
looks
cannot.
Like he's having trouble, but
I can't believe that car was able to drive away. Unfortunately, it's not going to drive for the rest of the race, but
I don't know about that.
I mean, maybe the RCR boys, but there's a lot of gray smoke coming out of that. They might just want to be done with it.
Put it in the museum.
I think it should go in an RCR.
RCR headquarters. I don't know, but wow.
Well, Chris Jericho, the points leader, started back in 40th place, and by halfway, he's leading his first laps of the night in the World 600. Chris Jericho, can he be stopped this season? We'll restart just before midway to find out if anyone can get by him. We will take our next restart of the night here on lap number 37 in the World 600. Chris Jericho, the points leader, continues to lead under this yellow. As the cars out from that, Jamie Stainworth Jr., Roberto Crown Jr., along with Conrad Evans, and then 2 Roush cars of Zachary DeLello and Matthew Burnett. Leaves us 36 cars left on the racetrack, and only 25 are on the lead lap. All of the cars that had fallen a lap down came into pit road to surrender their positions to the lead lap cars so they won't be in the middle causing any issues for the front runners. At the front, Chris Jericho leading. I still can't believe he drove it away.
He's not in this race anymore, but I was kind of cheering that he would be.
Yeah, I'm still impressed that he was able to drive that thing away. It's Chris Jericho leading. In second, it's Keyshawn Richardson. They have Jordan Edwards up to third. He's kind of come out of nowhere in this race, but remember, he finished well last race at Texas. Brett Sierra in fourth, and Keegan Thompson still hanging around in fifth. They have Mitchell Collins in sixth, Mitch Corbett in seventh. How about Noah Clifton in eighth, Roger Ray ninth, and Ronald Kennington in that very patriotic car in the number 77, United car, and, forever in our hearts car. He rounds out the top 10. We're back green, and a great restart for Jericho.
Well, we haven't been able to see this car out front, so let's see what he can do when it's clean air.
A car that I'm impressed is still hanging tough. Eli Bright, was in the inside wall in turn one with his teammate Anthony Hernandez, and obviously Eli got the best of it. There's some blocking going up here. Keyshawn tried to protect off Jordan Edwards but couldn't. The 9 gets the inside for second place. Keegan Thompson gets inside teammate Brett Sierra for fourth, and now looks for third on Keyshawn as Edwards going to try and clear for second off turn number 4.
I don't think we talked about the 9 race, Joe, but Edwards has you guys brought a fast car here today.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be too fast because, after qualifying, he was, the slowest car here, slowest of the 45 cars. But when I talked to him after qualifying, he said, it was just a mistake. Thank God we were locked in. And, he's shown that, it might have been the same car that we had at Texas because it looks just as fast as that one.
Well, I guess let's see if he can hang out here with the big boys and see where he ends up near the end. I mean, he's going to lead a lap.
He's going to lead a lap right here, so kudos to Jordan Edwards right there leading a lap. Keegan Thompson trying to get physical with the points leader as he looks inside Jericho for a second to turn 1. Keyshawn Richardson buries it to the outside, and Mitch Corbett still hanging around inside the top 5 tray. This could be another day where we see some of the smaller teams like Housecar Motorsports, Jasper Motorsports, PPI Motorsports go at it, try and win this race. Corbett's up to third place.
I was going to ask, you think Keegan Thompson's going to be very nice with Jericho at all, considering his teammates' second place in points?
Well, I think the answer was no. I think we just saw it.
Yeah, I was about to ask it, but he kind of read my mind here. Oh, Keegan Thompson's going for the lead again.
Yeah, that was a big move into turn one. Really, he moved out knowing that he had the run to make it work and didn't want to let the 9 block it any at all. Keegan Thompson leads the World 600 at the Lowe Speedway. Down the back to turns 3 and 4. They battle for second place. Keyshawn Richardson, Lowe on Jordan Edwards. Chris Jericho's back up to third. And Ronald Kennington for Jasper Motorsports says he wants to leave the team at season end, wants a bigger team. Well, this could be a great thing to put on your resume right now, that you're up inside the top 5 in the World 600 halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, teams are always looking for another driver to add to the list, and if he can show that he can get good results in the car that he's driving now, it's good if you're going to show what he can do in a better car, so we'll have to see how that goes, but the 99 is not going to let Keegan Thompson lead for very long.
No, Keyshawn Richardson wants his 3rd win of the season. To the inside of Keegan Thompson, they'll drag race to lead the 41st lap. It will be Keyshawn Richardson on the inside getting it done, and Ronald Kennington still moving through the field in the 77, going for 3rd place on Chris Jericho, and it could be for 2nd place on Keegan Thompson, because the outside's not been good here at all tonight, and there he goes to 2nd place, and Jordan Edwards with a nice run gets to the inside, and will grab that 3rd spot away down the back straightaway. Justin Zaidel coming back to the front with Mathis Wells and Zachary Fitzwater Sr.
The front's starting to get a little spicy again, but if they keep battling, they're going to allow that 99 to pull away here, so they might want to start to think about getting single file.
And a really good run right now for Colin Teague. Was very slow in practice and qualifying, but now for that Team Savco team that almost won this race last season, Caden Lynn has damage and, not out of the race, but definitely out of contention. Colin Teague is right there. Nathan Baird, very slow lap car. Oh, Keyshawn and Zaidel! How did they save that, Trey?
That could have been big.
I think it should have been big.
And they're still testing the waters here.
Yeah, they're still trying to make it big, I think.
Wow, what a save that was. Holy cow.
Careful. That's to be saving the season, right?
I honestly might be the save of the season.
Oh, they're still not done. Brando and Lawrence are going around.
Oh, that's a lot of cars.
And Lawrence's teammate was involved as well. Mitch Corbett, Noah Cliff. Oh, no.
Goodness.
The 66 drove underneath the 22, it looks like.
That was a very late.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they're 3 wide for the lead. Oh, careful, boys. Slow down.
Keyshawn said, I got the lead, and I'm going to make sure I don't wreck with it.
Gonna say there's a car up on the roof over here, but Joe, I don't see the 22, but that's 2 cars now that
have flipped and driven away. Yeah,
this car actually might be able to continue.
I think this car can't continue because it didn't hit too hard to the wall, and it was a slow rollover. Right, that was one of the more softer rollovers you can have in a Winston Cup Series car.
Have you ever seen a car drive away after flipping once?
I've seen it twice tonight, Trey. That's all I need.
Wow. Alrighty. Anyways, pit stops.
Well, so here's the interesting thing about pit stops. They're coming with 35 to go. The fuel window is 28 to 33 laps.
Ooh.
So no more yellows, and we'll be right in the money.
Yo, it's that you expect there to not be another yellow?
Well, it depends how slow some of these lap cars are, right? If we have some more, obviously Nathan Baird might be done now. It looked like he was the slowest one out there, but he might be done with how much damage he got from that one.
Yeah, but
we 44 got spun by the 25.
Well, Brett Sear got spun earlier on pit road, and I guess he goes, well, I guess it's my turn to spin someone.
Yeah, not good, though, for the damage on that car. He had kind of fallen before this, as they're going to try and leave with Fitzwater in front. He will. Keyshawn Richardson will be 2nd. 3rd place is going to be Chris Jericho over Collins, so good pit stop for the 18 crew, gains him some spots on pit road, but Fitzwater's crew does it again, enters first and leads first in number 2. There will be some lap cars in front of him for the restart, but let's go check out what happened between Jay Reynolds and Nolan Lawrence, which collected some other cars. Mitch Corbett all torn up. Noah Clifton also involved in the 32. Trey, I'd call this inadvertent teammate contact. Mitch Corbett's on the outside 3 wide, doesn't know it. Cuts down to Rando, who gets down to into Corvette's teammate Nolan Lawrence.
That's, 3 out of 4 wrecks now tonight?
Yep, it is. Look at Gary get low and get by. Unfortunately, Noah Clifton nowhere to go. Walker Davis is going to get low, and then right here, we thought the wreck was over.
Yeah, Joe, it was what, 10, 15 seconds after everything calmed down?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's still nothing. Still nothing. Laura Chung barely misses. Still nothing. Jay Randall trying to get back going. Mitch Corbett trying to get back going. And the banking and the transition probably just, allowed the 66 to catch the 22 and
what's going through the 22's mind?
Jay Rando went from, I have to get this thing back on, to, oh gosh, can I even drive anymore?
Why am I turning sideways?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Why can I see the ground now?
That's insane. Well, we talked about earlier the banking, you getting beached. What about it flipping cars?
Yeah, I mean, this has been one of the wilder World 600s I can remember. And
he drove away.
Yeah, and he drove away for the second time tonight. This has been a crazy World 600. Let's take a look at this wreck once again in full speed. Here it is again. Corbett, Rando, Lawrence, and 5 cars in the outside wall, but that was definitely not the most exciting part of it for.
How many wrecks has the 60 been involved in so far?
Yeah, it's a few now, right? And even Logan Williams, that's what, his second or third, so.
Yeah, the 11 is wow. This is honestly didn't think this race to be a demo derby, but at this point, it just seems like you're lucky if you can go away without a scratch on your car.
That's true. These racers are hoping. I mean, they raced back 3 wide to the caution flag for the lead.
How did they get 3 wide?
I have no clue. We were too focused on what was happening back behind, but Fitzwater led them in once again to pit road and led them off of pit road. The number 2, Fitzwater, looking to win his second ever Winston Cup Series race. He has some heavy challengers back behind in the second half of this one. Coming back green in the World 600, Fitzwater with the lead, some lap cars in front. We have more out. Rando did take his car to the garage. He's done. 44 is 2 laps down. Clifton is out. Mitch Corbett is out. That leaves us just 22 cars on the lead lap. Lawrence and Wells, the last of them. Wells with the slow pit stop on pit road. He came in second, but left all the way back. Green flag back in there for Fitzwater. Jumps to the outside of Oskin, and Richardson doesn't know where to go. And lap car of 11 of Williams is causing some issues back here.
Don't like that.
No, they're 3 wide.
I don't like that.
Luke Rainey getting by. Eli's looking for a way to go. Keegan's going to jump ship to the bottom lane. As Fitzwater is still slicing through traffic up front, he gets away from Richardson and Collins behind.
Yeah, he's gone. He checked out.
Yes, he is. Leighton Strickland moving by Roger Ray. Jordan Edwards by Chris Jericho. Luke Rainey's gotten away from the mess behind. Eli Bright still held up, and I think he's had enough. He's trying to go middle of 3. Leave Logan Williams to the outside, and does do just that. Bold move by Eli, but it pays off to try and keep him with the front pack. But he's still stuck behind some damaged cars.
Yeah, I think at this. Oh my goodness.
Tim Gary got a little aggressive with Jack Haas there, but yeah, this pack has definitely been split up because we had once again some of the damaged cars. Start up with the front as I think Roger Ray gave a bump to Edwards, who got up into Kukulon and was praying that the 30 didn't spin out right there because he probably been blamed for it. It would have been his fault.
Yeah, and that would have probably involved your points leader too, so that would have been something.
For the lead, Fitzwater had a big lead, but the draft and Fitzwater's teammate Collins gets Keyshawn Richardson to the inside, but Collins will go high with his teammate Fitzwater, and don't look now, but Leighton Strickland is up to 5th in the 15, or excuse me, 4th place in the 15, and Roger Ray's up to 5th in the 55, and they're in it to make it 5 cars under a blanket for the lead.
Thinking about this earlier, Leighton Strickland's teammates almost took each other out earlier this race.
Yep, and now...
And he's the one battling for the lead?
Yeah, he's the one saying, hey, Dale Lightning, maybe give me a raise. I didn't damage the car, and I might win this thing.
Well, yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes, but let's talk about this 55. Would you expected him to be in the battle for this win?
Not at all. You know, Roger Ray, he's been very quietly consistent this season. He's put out some good performances, but none of which have been, you know, those big, I can win a race moment. Well, maybe tonight's his I can win one of these races moment. He's up to 4th place now by Strickland, and now going for 3rd on Collins, who got tight by his teammate Fitzwater. And while they're doing this, Keyshawn leads in the 99 out front.
He's got himself a pretty nice gap, about, I would say, 4 or 5 car lengths by this point, so we'll have to see if it continues to grow, but Fitzwater now is by himself as well, so we'll have to see if that 2 has any, you know, strength underneath it.
Also watch for Keegan Thompson. That number 5 car looks pretty sporty here. This could be a car similar to the one they brought at Texas before it got involved in a pit lane incident. So watch for him. Roger Ray goes for a second on Fitzwater. Carried him with the racetrack. Roger Ray's to P2, and Keegan Thompson might look for that second spot. A great run off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. And Luke Rainey joins in the 8-8, who started very poorly in this race. And Jericho's back in the lead draft.
Gonna say, don't look now, but look who's behind Leighton Strickland there. It's your points leader, and even behind him, it's Stout.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Jordan Stout much this race, which is surprising because he started on pole. As they're going to catch.
No, I don't like that. No, not this again. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, lap traffic at the Lowesburg. I mean, you mentioned before, it's a very tight racetrack, And that's lap traffic.
1 around, 2 around, 3 around, 4 around, 5 around.
And Keegan and Stout and Ray, but luckily...
All right, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, they can filter through right here, as Ray should be able to get low right here. Here comes Edwards and Zidell. It's really going to be if they catch a big group of cars, which right now most of the pack is spread out, so that should help whenever we catch lap traffic. But they're side-by-side here catching Nathan Baird.
Ooh, the big checkup for the 77.
Do you think Wells drove it in deeper, hoping that the 60 wouldn't come down?
Yeah, 100% is that what he did. I could instantly tell as I saw him go in there.
Everyone with big moves to the inside. Kennington, Sierra, they leave. Davis, Benny Lynn to the outside. Eli Bright's getting low. Ryan Wilson, who's a few laps down or a lap down. Tim Gary's trying to get low in the 10 car. All the while, Keyshawn Richardson continues to lead. They continue to battle for second place. It's now Strickland up to second, Jericho up to third. There's Jericho again by Luke Rainey. And there is Strickland trying to hunt down Keyshawn Richardson. But Jericho's a nice run off turn number 2 and trying to take it to the inside for second place. But I think Strickland got the run. The 18's can be close and will stay to the inside.
You know, not to jinx anything right now, but I think we're at the point to where these cars are spread out enough that we don't need to expect any more incidences. But at the same time, would not be surprised.
Well, how do you think the crew chiefs are then feeling? Because they pitted with 35 laps to go, which is 2 laps outside the fuel window.
Hopefully these drivers know how to save fuel.
Okay. Well, you know that the one who's burning the most fuel right now is the one who has no draft, and that's Keyshawn Richardson, the race leader. He has lost a few races in his career by not having enough fuel at the end, so watch for that. Yeah,
it's especially with him, he's pushing it to keep this lead where it's at right now. So I'll be curious to see what happens with him. Yeah, people I like right now is the 12, Stout, or Keegan.
Yeah, I think Stout and Keegan could be big ones because they haven't really been up at the front of this pack. They've kind of been, back of the pack. They're getting the most draft.
Yeah, it's and look, Jericho's falling back there too, so he might be thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, obviously with Sierra further back, he could be maybe saving fuel. That could be why he's so far back. He obviously got left by the pack on the restart because of some lap traffic, so Sierra could be going into save mode, making sure that he can make it to the end in case some of these front runners can't, so Jericho doesn't want to give up points that way, as they're going to catch now Logan Williams off turn number 2. Where can Keyshawn go is the question.
Oh my
slice to the inside, and everyone goes low, but Luke might get left out because Keegan Thompson got beneath him.
I wonder if Luke thought that the front checked up more than what they did, so he tried to go to the outside there, and it's not working out in his favor.
Yeah, I think that could be it. Fitzwater's trying to get low in front of Ray, who may have flipped it to give him the room, and he's still going to keep it down there, though.
Yeah, it's I don't think Ray was the biggest fan of that one.
No, I don't think so at all, but Fitzwater drives up the track, gives the 55 plenty of room at the front. Second place goes to Keegan Thompson. Strickland falls back to 5th as Jericho moves to 3rd. For the lead, Keegan Thompson on Keyshawn Richardson in turns 3 and 4. We're in the final 20 laps, and number 5 moves out in front over Keyshawn Richardson. So Keyshawn now being second, and maybe he has a shot to try and save fuel. And Mathis Wells moved up nicely from outside pole. Here he is inside the top 5 now.
It's that's going to be a sight to see for Jericho there, his teammate coming back up through the field.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs Racing has to have some of the best team chemistry, and maybe they could try and put that to the test. But Mathis now looking at his teammate Jericho, maybe get in front of him and give him some draft to save fuel, possibly.
It definitely could be a thing, but they gotta hope Stout doesn't duck down low either. It looks like he's not going to, so that actually might be the exact plan that they're trying to do here.
Yeah, Stout maybe said, "I'll take the draft to save." In fact, Mathis is just going for it. He's like, "Well, why not?" Like, oh my gosh, Stout made a big move on Jericho back there, and moves by is for the lead. Keyshawn Richardson moving by Keegan Thompson. But while we watch this battle for the lead, it's a great battle between all those drivers. Let's go to our lunch chat really quickly because we're coming around to 17 to go. So we're running out of time in this one. But Trey, last week we asked which of the following. Oh, well, hold on.
We're back again.
Yeah, let's delay this until we get by
Keegan
Baird.
Thompson to the bottom.
Yeah, and look at Keyshawn. He's up on the outside. Jordan Stout's there in the middle. Where do you want to go? It's going to be the inside of Mitchell Collins. Oh, look at Fitzwater.
Fitzwater came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like a rocket ship right there, but obviously couldn't go anywhere with it. Roger Ray's now going to block Fitzwater, so maybe some payback for what happened before. And it's going to be Mitchell Collins, the odd man out in the 12, and he's lost so much ground there.
Wow, I didn't think we were going to catch up to the 6th. Oh, what? How many laps was that in between?
Not many, which means we're going to catch him at least one more time.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That might not be good, but anyways, back to the McDonald's talk.
Yeah, it looks like we have a gap now, so we could probably talk about. But as these guys will continue to battle for the lead. But last week we asked which of the following tracks with only one race deserves a second. Well, Trey, you couldn't decide because once again, as you mentioned, it was kind of an unfair question because I think all 4 deserve a second race maybe at some point. But you took the tracks in Texas Motor Speedway and Texas World. So I'll give you half a point because Texas won. Right? I won't give you the full point, but I'll give you half a point.
Fair enough.
Texas got 36%, Homestead got 27%, and Texas World and Las Vegas tied at 18.
See, everyone else thought about the same thing. It was a pretty unfair question. They're all good tracks.
They are. You know what? I think that just shows that all could have a second date if we maybe expand the schedule in the future. But as we are in the final 15 laps, it's been a long one here tonight in the World 600. So this week's lunch chat, should the 600-mile race be reduced to a shorter race distance? Yes or no?
No. Hear me out, right? All the race dits, or majority of them are, they're at good things, But this is what makes this race special. It's the longest one of the season. It's the endurance race. It really shows you what, teams and drivers have the stuff to take, these long races. They're physically demanding. They're, car demanding as well. They're team strategy demanding. So what's the point of making it shorter when you want to see who really has the best endurance out of everyone else on this track?
Trey, I will 150% agree with you on that one. That is
wow. I think that's the first time we agree on something.
That is not. We've agreed on many of these these lunch chats. I normally don't give my my analysis, but yeah, I agree that this is a 600 miler for a reason. It's been tradition, right? So might as well keep it. And it's produced some great race in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, plus you said it's, the second biggest race of the season, so everyone wants to be known for winning the second biggest race. In some cases, it could even be considered the biggest race.
Exactly. I mean, you think about the top 3 races to win in a season. The Daytona 500, the World 600, and then the Southern 500 at Darlington. Those are really the 3 you think of when you go into it. And maybe even the Firecracker 400 you could put up there as well at Daytona the night race.
Exactly. So why would you want to make it not special anymore?
Exactly. So, and we already have a 500-miler at Lowe's anyway later in the season, so...
Yeah, true, so...
we don't need another one. But we have 11 laps to go. Mathis Wells did a great job protecting his lead. They battled for second, Keyshawn Richardson and Keegan Thompson. But as the pack kind of stays spread out, I'm starting to think more and more that these drivers are really going into fuel-saving mode.
Yeah, whenever we saw Mathis pretty much rocket ship his way to the front, it made me wonder. I mean, he was in the back, mid-pack, quote-unquote mid-pack is what you could say. So he might have been honestly saving his stuff there, saving his fuel, and once he heard the okay that he should be able to make it, not, putting the crew chief's words, not saying them for him, but, they might have been some, words there that said, hey, you should be able to make it on fuel, so just run it out. Go up front and see what you can do here, and, I mean, so far, he's had a pretty demanding lead, but Keegan Thompson slowly making his way up to his rear bumper.
I would also watch behind the front 9. The Penske cars of Collins and Fitzwater, they've fallen back there along with Edwards. They're definitely probably in save mode now. Watch for Teague and Kennington and Gary and Bright. Sierra back there. Jose Mills back there. Davis and Haas. And if you're the leaders, ignore the lap traffic.
Oh, look at this. This is different just from who we catch 3 Baird, right?
Yeah,
this
Baird.
Is what, four cars. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
So Baird again. Wells does get slowed, and here comes Keegan with a run right to his back bumper.
He's going to dive it in. He's going to block a little bit.
Strickland used as a pick and goes to 3rd. Richardson flies to 4th, and Stout is stuck. Jericho might get stuck because Zidell got to his inside. Keegan for the lead on Wells, and we'll try and use Atkins as a pick, but the 20 gets a draft from the 29, but the 5 gets inside.
Get him. Here comes Leighton Strickland, though.
Yeah, Strickland's there. We're coming to 7 to go, though, Trey. When we get to the final 5 laps, yellow's out.
Oh, my goodness. What happened?
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho's involved.
And you have to think that was Nathan Baird, right?
Oh, my good. Well, you know who's the happiest to see that?
Brett Sierra, because he just drove by it.
Oh, I did say at the beginning of the race, I'm kind of wondering when Jericho's buck was going to run out here.
Yeah. That was it.
I'm not going to say I jinxed it. But if it's going to come at any track, it's going to be at the longest. Oh, my goodness. Did he lose?
I think he lost drive.
Yeah, I think he lost the traction on the car there. That was a strange motion from Fitzwater.
So I think if you're the race leaders, you have to stay out. And Bank, you have the fuel, right? At this point, 7 to go.
Is this another situation where I'm glad I'm not a crew chief?
Yeah. I mean, maybe for further back, right? Come in and...
Oh, yeah, I would say if you're 6 on back, come in.
Yeah, well, they said no. They're gonna...
Good enough.
They're going to stick to their guns. But, yeah, this changes the outcome because that was a lot of front runners that got involved in that one. So Keegan Thompson, Mathis Wells, Leighton Strickland, Keyshawn Richardson, Justin Adele, their front 5. And they are on fumes right now on field 6 to go. And within the final 5 laps, they should be near running out, if not actually out of field. Let's see what happened. Points for Chris Jericho. It'll be his first DNF of the season. It'll be his first finish lower than 13th this season as he's involved in a late crash in the World 600 at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Well, Trey, I don't know if you call this bad blood from last season or what, but Chris Jericho is behind Nathan Baird, the lap car, sees a gap, tries to get down in front of Roger Ray, but Ray is not going to lift right here. Obviously, it's 7 to go. You don't really want to lift. The only thing you really think there is Ray could have gone lower. And
I'm honestly going to chalk it up to a racing incident. But watch. Just when he goes out, he goes out big and into the catch fence.
Yeah, right into the path of Luke Rainey and keeps on flipping.
Luckily, it didn't continue right here.
And then right here, Roger Ray down the track, right in the cones, who had nowhere to go. And Fitzwater's teammate had nowhere to go. Edwards gets high and gets by in the 9. Here comes Colin Teague. He'll sweep around the outside. Tim Gary wondering where to go, and he can't step on the brakes hard enough. Eli Bright, Ronald Kennington head to the grass to get by. I mean, that is right there, 6 cars piled up in turns 3 and 4. Jericho getting the worst of it, obviously in the 18 and the points lead. He won't lose it, but it'll definitely shrink down to Brett Sierra, who should have maybe a top 10 day if everything goes right for the 25. Let's take a look at the wreck again in full speed. So, Trey, I mentioned last season, at Talladega, the first Talladega race, Roger Ray's a lap car held up Chris Jericho, who was mad. Then at Richmond, Roger Ray caused the crash, which got Jericho involved. And then here, in this race last season, Jericho's a lap car and wrecked Roger Ray.
I mean, I know Jericho's going to say that was all Ray's fault, but again, you got to remember, dude, it's 7 laps to go in the longest race of the season, and if you can make up any positions at this point, you're going to do it. So it's honestly just a racing incident. But Joe, I just heard an interesting fact from our stat guy. We broke a record.
Oh, what's the record?
It's probably not going to be a record we wanted to break, but it's for the most flips in a single race. That is, it was 3, but now it's 4. Yeah. So. Well, is that a good thing? Is that what you want to be known for in a record, as being one of the 4 guys to flip in a race?
I don't think so. I do not think so. But, oh, my God. Well, 4 flips and 2 of them drove away.
Yeah, that honestly might be another record for most cars to drive away after flipping. That was even a record in the first place.
You know what? We've seen all that action so far tonight, but I don't think it's done because fuel mileage is still in question for the front runners. Keegan Thompson looking to end a long winless drought for Hendrick Motorsports in the number 5. He leads the World 600 within the final 5 laps here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Well, Trey, we've been mentioning all race long. It's the longest race of the season, 80 laps long, but how about it to all come down to a 3-lap shootout? Oh, by the way, you might not have enough fuel to make it to the checkered flag.
You know these guys are hitting the clutch, shutting off the engine throughout these entire caution laps, so is it going to work out? I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to find out. There are a lot more cars out. You see them on the screen, like the 55, the 88. Chris Jericho's going to finish probably 31st here tonight. Mitchell Collins also out. A lot of cars multiple laps down. Fitzwater's also out. We only have 16 cars on the lead lap. Nolan Lawrence last of them in the 26. So at the front, Keegan Thompson, Mathis Wells are clear of lap traffic. Then, third place Strickland has to try and get by Justin Atkins. Keyshawn Richardson is 4th, and Justin Zidell is 5th. They have Stout in 6th. They're all clear of the lap car of Nathan Baird, who's 5 laps down. Edwards in 7th will try and get around as quick as he can. Brett Sierra in 8th. Jose Mills up to 9th in the number 7. And Colin Teague in the 40 rounds at the top 10. Davis also up here in 11th. Then more lap traffic in between them and drivers like Eli Bright and others behind. So Trey, we're going to see who can get through these final 3 laps with the fuel and in the race lead. Can Thompson end a long winless drought? Can Mathis Wells find his 2nd victory of the season? Can Leighton Strickland find DEI's 1st ever victory? Can Keyshawn get to victory lane for the 3rd time this season? Green flag back in there at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Great restart for the front 2. Strickland's got to try and get around the 29 in a hurry.
You got to think, who's going to be the most aggressive on this? Oh, look at the gap the front 2 have already.
Yes, they do. With 3 to go, that's going to be hard to overcome, but if they get side by side, Strickland and others could definitely get by. Strickland is clear of the 29, has a gap now, and there they go. They're side by side.
Look at everyone else spreading out behind them there. I mean, now, this is what Leighton Strickland wants to see, but the real question is how strong is that 5 car?
Caution, it's over.
Oh, my goodness.
Nathan Baird.
Oh, that's heartbreak.
And Mathis Wells should win this race. Oh!
Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh my goodness, this is big.
Hernandez, Eli Bright, Jordan. I mean, what is happening here?
Oh. Maybe they heard the caution was out, and they just started. Oh, if this involves who I think it involves, Joe.
Yeah, it's going to be controversial.
NASCAR might want to have a talk with a certain driver, and there might be. I don't know.
Who might be more than 4 laps down?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna let the replays work, but
yeah.
This is you got to feel bad. I don't know. This is a 50-50 for Keegan Thompson.
Yeah, so obviously he's going to get a really good result, but you know if it went green to the end, he would have had a shot with Mathis Wells. Leighton Strickland, you have to feel bad for, is one of the 15 who was really gaining on the front two when this happened. They've just taken the white flag, but in good news for Hendrick Motorsports, all 3 of their cars are going to place inside the top 6. That's really good points for all of them here tonight.
Especially for Brett Sierra with Jericho finishing, what we said, 31st-ish.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big points game for him on the night, but wow, talk about a crazy finish.
Yeah. I mean,
Keegan Thompson's hoping the 20 runs out of fuel here.
Yeah, Keegan's hoping that, if it sputters, he's hoping that he just loses fuel for just a moment so that he can pass him and say he let off the gas. And
it wouldn't be the first time this season where there's been a lead change under caution.
No. So we'll just have to see. Obviously stay with you until the checkered flag, but that's the pack of cars that are going to finish this race.
Joe, real quick, I mean, I know we normally do it after the checkered flag, but what all just happened in this race, man? Wow.
What, 6 caution flags through 80 laps, numerous lead changes, fuel mileage, fuel strategy, lap traffic. I mean, we saw people come from the back to the front to then get wrecked, and
numerous flips. There might be another one in this one. You don't know yet.
We don't know who all wrecked on the back straightaway with some of the cars involved, but it looks like Mathis Wells is going to do it for his 2nd win of the season as he comes off turn number 4 under his own power. Mathis Wells will win the longest race of the season as he'll take the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway over Keegan Thompson and Leighton Strickland.
Wow. Wow. Look at all these cars. Which ones don't have a scratch on them?
I would say only the front 5 or so don't have a scratch.
Yeah, I would go that. Well, no, think about it. Keyshawn and Zidell bumped into each other.
Yeah,
they bumped into each other.
So they definitely have some dents. Top 3.
Top 3.
I mean, Brett was back around the madness all race long, so he definitely and he was involved in pit road stuff. 19 and 9 were involved in stuff at the end. I mean, yeah, maybe only the top 3 are away with a.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
And the pace car. They were almost involved into a wreck too.
Kevin Bandon really had to do his best to miss that one. But yeah, let's go see what happened on the back straightaway to bring out the 6th and final yellow flag of the World 600. Well, Troy, after reviewing a replay, if you're 5 laps down, is there a point?
And I mean, think about it. He's what? At least 10 to 20 miles an hour under every speed of everyone else.
Yeah, and he started coming up the track as Kuklan was coming down, and when you're slower, you normally want to get out of the way.
He's caused of what, 4 or 5 of the 6 wrecks we have?
He's been involved in about 4 or 5, yeah.
Well, there might be a new rule coming to NASCAR here. I don't know. This is just so many drivers.
It's 3 to go, and he's 5 laps down, so he can't gain anything.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, he's just running out there to run out there, and then at the same exact time, he's causing so many unnecessary wrecks.
Yeah.
Is there NASCAR?
There's going to be a call to the hauler.
Yeah, for the spotter, crew chief, driver, owner, pit crew,
investors.
I mean, you might want to add the hauler driver to it too.
Maybe the NWO has to go there as well. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot. But let's take a look at this wreck once again because we have another wreck to focus on the front stretch as everyone tried to race back around to the yellow flag and get all the spots they could. So here it is once again, just show how much slower, like the closing rate of those guys under the 60s extreme, and he did not give Kuklan room on the outside at all.
You know, I was talking about earlier in the race, wanting to see all the reactions from the drivers, you know, in their interviews afterwards about the different incidences. I can't wait to see how many people are not going to be the happiest with the 60 of Nathan Baird.
Yeah, that is for sure. But the crashing.
Oh, we have a whole other wreck to go.
Yeah, the crashing was not yet done, my friend. We have to see what happened to Jordan Edwards and the rest of the field in the front straightaway, because there were some massive incidents occurring coming to the caution flag.
Well, Joe, you thought your night was at least over with, but it wasn't. Right here, I mean, you could put the blame on the 60. He was trying to force it 3 wide, 4 wide, I would even put it at that, but sadly got up into Edwards here. Edwards going to go up into Atkins. Atkins had a hard night himself. Edwards loses control into the 40. 40 gets spun around. The 9 gets spun around into your other car of Davis, but that's not done. Watch this. The 9 of Edwards. Slide, slide, slide. Bam! Right there. Brett just got by. Kennington's through the grass. 2 is not done yet because they're going to involve more cars here. Laura Chung has no place to go. More cars in the back here. Watch the 1. Hernandez. Oh, was almost our 5th car of the night to go upside down. Eli Bright got damaged from it. Boyd got damaged from it. The 93 got who? Okay, let's put it this way, Joe.
Who didn't?
Who got no damage out of this?
Yeah, not many. If you were in front of it, you got no damage. If you're behind it, I think you got damage.
The 33 is involved in another wreck.
Yeah, this has been a hard night for a lot of drivers and a lot of teams.
Oh, the 60 and the 30 are flying through here.
I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, not the night to be a team owner at all here in the World 600.
When we go through the replay, I hope we had a camera on the 77. I want to see how many spots he made up by going through the grass.
Yeah, we'll see if we have any other angles of this crash as they race back around to the caution flag. So here's the final view of the last crash, but I mean, as you mentioned, Trey, the most impressive might be that yellow 77 going into the grass. Went from 14th to 8th. Got 6 spots out of that.
That's a record. That has to be a record. I mean, Joe, we've broken how many records so far tonight? Add another one to it. Look at the other 2. Oh my goodness.
I think we got a lot of records tonight, and some are bad.
Some are good.
Some
I don't know.
Kennington, that's good. You know.
Is there good records tonight?
I don't know. But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back to discuss the finishing results of the points and what to look forward to in the next race of the Winston Cup Series. Matt as well as the winner here tonight at the World 600. We are back at the Lowe's Motor Speedway to take a look at the finishing results from what was a very chaotic World 600. Matt as well is on top in the number 20, beating Keegan Thompson to the caution flag to win. Leighton Strickland a really good run in 3rd, but what could have been if it stayed green for the final 2 laps is what Leighton has to be thinking right now. Keyshawn Richardson a solid 4th place, and Justin Zeidel another consistent top 5 result for him. Brett Cyril closed in on the points to a 6th place result here tonight at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Walker Davis involved in a lot of incidents. Jordan Edwards involved in some stuff. They get 7th and 8th. Jose Mills got 9th, and 10th place goes to Jordan Stout. Colin Teague ends up in 11th. Nolan Lawrence 12th. There was an issue on Ronald Kennington, so all the issues he gained, Trey, he had to give them back coming down pit road. 13th to the 77. Jack Haas. Yeah, that's a shame, right? He moved up to 8th.
We were so... I'm going to give it to him. I'll give it to him.
Yeah. 14th for Jack Haas. 15th to Jacob Boyd. Eli Bright out of the race, but still gets 16th. Laura Chung a lap down. Hernandez 2 laps down. Bibi Rose out of the race. Justin Atkins 2 laps down, gets a top 20. Tim Gary 2 laps down. 33.01.45 in the garage. 30 and 11 were a few laps down. You have Oskin, Fitzwater, Collins. Jericho gets 30th because Nathan Baird retired before he could pass him in the number 60. He got 33rd. As, yeah, most of the field out of the race here on the Lowe's Motor Speedway, Trey. I would say about half of the field retired their cars here tonight.
I would give my peace of mind, but I don't even know if I should, Joe. I don't even know if I should.
Yeah, I think you might need like a talk show during the.
I think I do. You know what? I got so many words to say about a certain car in this field. Had one job to do. That was to finish the race and get one more spot. And I feel like you know who I'm talking about.
I think I do, considering I did call out his name in the finish results, saying he could have gained one more spot.
He had one job to do, Joe. And that was to finish the race. I mean, he's already hearing it from NASCAR probably as we speak.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably in the hauler as we speak, and NASCAR is probably not too happy, considering, obviously, once again, one of the bigger races of the season to end under yellow. You definitely don't want to see that.
He's going to hear from 50% of the drivers in this race.
Yep,
You know what? I'll add an announcer. You had one job to do. That was to finish the race, to pass the points leader of all people, and you wrecked the car. You know, if I was the team owner, I'd be questioning your, you know what? I'd be questioning your contract at the end of this thing. But hey, I'm not the team owner. I'm just announcer, but I get a voice too. I'm done.
Well, let's take a look at the points to calm you down, Trey. Chris Jericho does maintain the points lead, but Brett Cyril will close in, and some other drivers are coming up in there as well, trying to gain on the front too, as Jericho didn't have a great night, so they gain on him, and Brett Cyril with a good night in 6th place, where drivers like Zidell gained in the 24, who got a top 5 out of the night.
That's a good night for the 24. You know, like I said, ever since Dover, it just seems like that team has been hitting their stride again, getting momentum. So, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised to see a win out of that 24 here within the next couple of races.
When I think about Zidell last season, I think about the summer and the early fall as the time he came alive and gained a lot of points and maybe got himself into the championship conversation. But then the last few races fell apart for the 2014. But definitely watch for him over the summer and the early fall. Also to think about, Chris Jericho's summer stretch last season was dismal and dropped him out of the championship fight. So Jericho was hoping to build up a lot of points in case something like that happened this season. But now here, not a good night at the Lowesboro Speedway. Going to definitely contribute to that points lead falling. But Trey, next race, we're going home because we're going racing at the Pocono Raceway for the Pocono 500. You're in the midpoint of the season.
We get to see our families.
Yeah, it's been so long.
It has been. We'll have to go out to a bar together with our families. It'll be a nice time. I'll show you how I party.
Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if the Pocono Mountains are ready, but
Oh, trust me, you, me, Bright, Chung, anyone else that wants to come in, I think it'll be a great time. I hope you'll be ready to commentate though.
I don't know. We'll find out. But the Pocono Raceway, always a unique one. Obviously, the tricky triangle located in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. A lot of strategies could be unfolding there, so we'll see who can try and find Victor Lane through the correct strategy. Once again, congratulations to Mathis Wells on winning the World 600 here at the Lowesboro Speedway. And tune in next week to JRTV for the Pocono Raceway Pocono 500.